Remember the first morning I stepped into my tertiary institute. The sky was bright and the air felt different. Everything around me seemed new. The tall buildings, the unfamiliar faces, the sound of students laughing confidently as if they had always belonged there. I stood at the entrance holding my bag tightly. My heart was beating fast, not because I was afraid, but because I was excited. This was it. A new chapter, a new beginning. For years, I imagined myself entering tertiary education. I imagined independence. I imagined success. I imagined being someone my family would be proud of. As I walked through the campus, I told myself, this is where I will grow. This is where I will discover who I truly am. The sun that morning felt warm, like as hope, but I didn't know yet that hope and fear often walk together. The first week passed quickly. New lecturers, new subjects, new classmates. Everyone seemed confident. They spoke fluent English, they asked intelligent questions, they laughed comfortably in groups. And then there was me, quiet, observing, and even overthinking. I started comparing myself to others. They seem smarter, they seem more prepared, they seem more confident. The excitement I once felt slowly mixed with anxiety. Assignments started coming in. Deadlines appeared on the calendar. Suddenly felt louder. Tick, tick, tick. Time was moving fast, but I felt slow. At night, I would lie on my bed, staring at the ceiling, replaying the day in my mind. Did I say something wrong? Did I sound stupid? Am I good enough to be here? For the first time, I felt small in a very big world. And that was when I realized the academic pressure was heavier than expected. In school, teachers guided us step by step. But here, we were expected to manage everything independently. Research, presentations, group discussions, and even critical thinking. Sometimes I would stare at my laptop for hours, not knowing where to begin. The fear of falling became real. Not just falling, but even failing a subject. But most importantly, me failing myself and failing my family's expectations. Every time my family called, they would ask, "How are your studies? Are you doing well?" I could hear the pride in their voices. They believed in me, and that belief became both my motivation and my pressure. I didn't want to disappoint them, so even when I was tired, I said, "I'm fine, everything is okay." But deep inside, I was struggling to balance everything. Making new friends wasn't easy either. In a new environment, everyone is trying to find their place. Sometimes I joined conversation but felt invincible. Sometimes I laughed along, even when I didn't fully understand. I wondered, where do I fit? Loneliness in a strange. You can be surrounded by people and still feel alone. As assignments increased, sleep decreased. I skipped meals. I ignored headaches. I told myself, I'll rest after this deadline. But another deadline always came. I realized I was taking care of my grades, but not taking care of myself. And slowly, the excitement I once had became buried under the stress. There was this one night I almost gave up. I had multiple deadlines. Group members were depending on me. My phone kept vibrating with messages. My mind felt overloaded. I stared at my screen and tears started falling. I felt tired, not physically but emotionally. I questioned everything. Was I ready for this? Did I choose the right path? Am I strong enough? For the first time, I admitted something to myself. I was not okay, and that was a difficult truth to face. The next morning, something changed. Not the workload, not the deadline, but my mindset. I began to understand something important. Growth is uncomfortable. Every successful person once felt unsure. Every confident student once felt lost. I started talking to my classmates more openly, and surprisingly, they felt the same way. They were also anxious, they were also struggling, they were also pretending to be okay. I realized I was never alone. I began managing my time better. I allowed myself to rest. I stopped comparing my journey to others. Instead of asking, "Am I good enough?" I started asking, "What can I learn today?" And slowly, I felt stronger. Not because things became easier, but because I became braver. Today, I am still adjusting. I still feel nervous before presentation. I still feel stressed during exams. But now, I understand something powerful. Being anxious does not mean being weak. Struggling does not mean failing. Taking time does not mean falling behind. This journey is not just about getting certificate. It's about discovering resilience. It is about building confidence. It is about learning to balance studies, families, friendship, and even self-care. I entered this institute feeling excited. Then I felt afraid. Now I feel something different. I feel capable because every challenge shaped me. Every fear taught me. Every struggle strengthened me. This is not the end of my story. This is only the beginning. And for the first time, I am proud to say I am ready. By the fifth month, I realized something important. Balance is not automatic, it must be created. I began setting boundaries. After studying for hours, I forced myself to rest. I started going for short evening walks around the campus. Sometimes I sat alone under a tree, just breathing. I called my family and spoke honestly. I'm trying my best. It's challenging, but I'm learning. And instead of pressure, I received encouragement. We're proud of you. That was the moment I realized I didn't need to be perfect. I just need to keep trying. But growth is not a straight line. In my 6th month, I faced disappointment. I didn't do as well as expected in one of my assessments. When I saw my result, my heart dropped. All the old thoughts came back. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe others are way more better than me. For a moment, I felt like I was back at the beginning. But this time, something was different. I didn't give up. Instead of crying alone, I approached my lecturer. I asked questions. I accepted feedback. I admitted my weakness. That was something I couldn't do in my first month, and that showed growth. Now, I have been here for 7 months. 7 months of learning, 7 months of struggling, 7 months of growing. Last week, I stood in front of my class to give a presentation. My hands were slightly shaking, but I didn't let fear control me. I spoke clearly. I made eye contact. I even made a good finishing. When I sat down, I realized something powerful. I am not the same person who stood at the gate 7 months ago. Back then, I was only excited. Then, I became anxious. Now, I'm aware of my strengths, aware of my weaknesses, aware that growth takes time. After 7 months at IPG campus Bahasa Antarabangsa, I can honestly say this. I am still adjusting. I still feel stressed sometimes. I still miss home. I still doubt myself occasionally. But I no longer feel alone. I have friends. I have mentors. I have learned how to care for myself. This journey is not just about becoming perfect in 7 months. It is about becoming stronger than yesterday. 7 months ago, I entered as a boy searching for confidence. Today, I'm becoming a man who understands resilience. And I know this is only the beginning of a much longer journey.
Hi, so here I am after 7 months at IPG Campus Bahasa Antarabangsa. I remember I came here 7 months ago searching for success. I thought success was about, getting good grades, confidence, and proving myself to others. But what I found was growth. And growth is way more powerful than everything I've learned. Growth is waking up even when you feel tired. Growth is trying again even after you're feeling a disappointment. Growth is asking for help when you once stayed silent. Growth is choosing to continue even when quitting feels easier. 7 months ago, I was afraid, not being enough. Today, I understand that enough is not about being perfect, it's about progress. I may not have everything figured out. I may still feel nervous before presentation. I may still feel struggle about deadlines. I am no longer the boy who stood at the gate unsure of himself. I'm someone who has faced stress and survived it. Someone who has doubted himself but kept on going. Someone who is learning step by step how to balance studies, families, friendships, and even self-care. IPG Campus Bahasa Antarabangsa did not just teach me academic knowledge. It taught me resilience, it taught me patience, it taught me courage. 7 months may seem short, but within these 7 months, I have grown the way I've never expected in many years of my life before. And this journey is far from over, because success is not a destination I arrive at. It is a process I continue to walk through. And today, I walk forward, not without fear, but with strength. Not without doubt, but with determination. Not as someone who has completed the journey, but as someone who has finally learned how to begin. That's all from me. I'm Kavinesh from Tesl. Thank you for watching.